Hello everyone, my name is Sammy and welcome. Now today is going to be a little bit of an interesting thing. I guess you could kind of call it a mini series. The bottom line is you might have seen in a thrift haul that I got two skirts. One was like a white pleated skirt and the other one was like a pink and black plaid with maybe like some nice tulle underneath it. Maybe it did have some tulle underneath it. Well, what I'm going to be doing is I don't like zippers. I hate them. I hate clothing with zippers because, first of all, sometimes it gets caught in your skin and that hurts really bad, depending how bad it is. Like, it hurts and it's a pain in the butt. Second reason, it makes me feel like I have to stay that size forever. Like, in order to wear this skirt, I have to be the same size. And that's not right in my opinion. Now, trust me, I understand there are a lot of clothing with zippers in them. That's usually how it's usually how clothing is. But just me personally, it's like everyone's body changes. Like, you could either change shape, size, it doesn't matter, whatever, okay? It doesn't matter what size you are. You should be happy with the way you are. And I personally feel like clothing with zippers, it's like, if you want to wear this, you have to stay this size. And it's like, that's not always the case. That can't always happen. So, now, I can actually fit into these skirts, but it's the fact of I'm still definitely going to remove the zipper because of these little facts about personal taste. I'm sorry if that was very confusing. I apologize. Bottom line is I'm removing zippers in both of them, but today I'm going to show you how I do it differently for the first skirt. The first skirt, I'm going to take the white pleated skirt and kind of do like almost like a corset does a lace up. I'm kind of going to do a lace up with that. So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm basically going to be winging it this entire time. So here we go.
So the very first thing I did here was I seam ripped the zipper out, excuse me. And this took a lot of time and a lot of patience, but eventually you'll be able to get it undone. So that's what I did here. I was able to finish ripping out the zipper, and I'm actually going to save the zipper because, I don't know, you never know when you need another zipper. So I'm very happy with how I was able to take that out. And then the next part, I am kind of just imagining what it's going to look like. I imagine how much I will need. Like, I'm just using this, it's like bias tape, I think it's called, or I'm sorry, I forget what it's called, but it's basically fabric that's folded over a bunch of times, and it's used for sewing projects. I'm pretty obviously sorry. And so I'm basically, now you see me cutting up fabric to use as the loops, and then I'm going to sew all of the loops together. Now I had about like 10 loops here. I didn't use all of them, but I sewed them to get like a whole bunch of them together. So I just folded them over and I just sewed them back and forth for maybe like 2 times, and I did this for all of them. It wasn't hard by no means, but it was a little time consuming, but that's alright. So then, after that, I decided about how much fabric I'll need for the back, because I definitely wanted to add a piece of fabric back there, especially to attach the loops onto. So I'm just taking like an old t-shirt and I'm kind of winging it, which I tend to do a lot. So I'm just winging it by pinning around how big I'd like it to be, and then I'm going to cut that shape out. And again, it just kind of winging it a little bit. I took the pins out and then I managed to have this little strip of fabric. So then with that, I just I played around with it where I wanted everything to go. Like where I wanted to place the loops on it, where I wanted to place the fabric onto the actual skirt, and where I wanted to place the loops onto the fabric. So basically just played around with this for a little bit. I eventually got something that I liked, and again, I'm actually only using 6 of the loops instead of all 10, but I mean, you learn as you go. So I carefully, and the best I could, pinned the loops to the scrap of fabric, and then I sewed on all of the loops. After all the loops were sewed on, that's again where I played with where I wanted everything to sit to make sure that it looked all right. So after that, I put on all of the loops, and now I am pinning the excuse me, I'm pinning the piece of fabric to the skirt so I can sew everything on. And then after everything's pinned on, I just want to sew it. Just sew it carefully. I kind of sewed it a little slowly, making sure I was getting the piece of fabric and the loops. I wanted to make sure I had everything all together. I was also hemming this back together since I took the zipper out. And then after that, I just used the remainder of the fabric, the strips of fabric, and I laced it up. And it wasn't too hard in my opinion, but I think it looks pretty well. Looks pretty good in my opinion, and I'm overall happy with it. And then as you can see here, this is what the finished product looks like, with it all laced up. And it's pretty good in my opinion, so there you go.
So that is pretty much how I made the lace-up back for the skirt. It went pretty well in my opinion. It didn't turn out exactly what I was planning, but in all honesty, it does what it's supposed to. It takes out the zipper and allows me to wear it just basically tying it up into a bow. So I am pretty happy with it in all honesty. Plus, it's in the back, and usually it's gonna be like covered up with like a shirt or something like that, so no one's gonna see it. It's good. It's good enough for me. I'm happy with it. Maybe if you recreate it, you can do a bit better of a job, but I was winging it, so it looks good enough for me. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!